Right, hello there everyone, welcome to the instant match reaction of Wolves 0, Liverpool 1. Kind of a bittersweet feeling after that game. I can't really come on here and just start getting off my high horses because we did get a very good 3 points, and in the end I feel it deserved 3 points, even though Wolves did very, very well, and you have to give the credit to them. I actually think players like Adama Traore had a very good game, caused us a lot of problems. Let me get my hat on because, you know, it was supposed to be on at the start of the video, but it's not. But now, like I said, bittersweet for many reasons. Obviously, if you didn't see the game, then obviously the incident at the end with Rui Patricio. Now, I had the game on mute, and this is being recorded right after we've just finished the watch along, so I still haven't really saw any, you know, footage back or anything like that. It didn't show any replays. But one thing that I did hear from the chat is that Connor Cody kind of backed up into Rui Patricio. You know, it was a heavy impact, and then after he was like knocked out by Connor Cody, he hit his head on the floor or something like that. Again, don't know the full story, but some sort of instance happened between Cody and Patricio. Accidental as well, from what I was told. So not malicious in any way, shape or form. Just one of them things that can happen. And it didn't look good. The next 10 minutes was a very sort of uncomfortable 10 minutes when doing the watch along. I'm not going to lie to you people. Because, you know, I know how bad a knockout can be, and there was people in the chat saying, oh, he's only knocked out. And, you know, only being knocked out is still an issue, but that didn't just only look knocked out. Like, I'm a big UFC fan, big boxing fan. I've saw people get knocked out, and it's bad, but they get up after 2 to 5 minutes. And even 5 minutes is a very long time for someone to be knocked out. Usually it's around a minute or two, maybe even less than that. And even when they get up, people will be like, oh, but they're fighters though, James. Like, no, the difference, it's not really different. When a fighter gets up from being knocked out, they look like a walking baby learning how to walk, because that's just how being knocked, I've just dropped something, but that's how being knocked out just feels in general. So that didn't look right when he was just kind of lying there, just looking up to the sky, and it felt very uneasy for many moments. Even when they were doing the slight sort of cutbacks to Patricio, yeah, it was one of them things. And then not only that, we had to play another 7-8 minutes of football after that concluded. So people can say what they want, mate, but at the end of the day, serious things do happen in this sport, and that was very much certainly one of them. The irony of that, it's happened to Wolves, another serious head injury that, you know, looks like that's serious, and it's something to be worried about. But of course, you know, we don't know the full story yet, so let's hope, let's pray, let's send our best wishes to Rui Patricio, because not only is it disappointing for anyone to go through what he's been through today, as that's not what you're expecting when you walk onto a football pitch, but also it's actually a big miss for Wolves and a big miss for Portugal with how fucking good of a goalkeeper Rui Patricio actually is. So like I say, best wishes sent to him, and hopefully I can now talk about the game without trying to sound sort of like I've disregard at that moment, because, you know, it's great getting the 3 points, and as a football fan, buzzing. Great for the team as well. First Premier League win, well, since Sheffield, but still a much-needed Premier League win, much-needed 3 points against a very good team. But I just needed to get that out the way first. Now let's talk about Liverpool. Let's talk about what we did well today, because I know we got the 3 points, and I know we finished 1-0, and that is absolutely marvellous, because, like I said, we needed 3 points. That being said, it still weren't perfect, and I'm not expecting it to be, because for me to expect it to be perfect would be naive, I feel. And I feel like that wouldn't be fair for a team that's in the circumstances that we are, and with the form that we've been in, it would be unrealistic, is the word that I'm looking for me to just think, just because we beat Leipzig, we're going to beat Wolves away from home. They're a very good, compact team who all know each other very well. And I know people will be like, oh, James, this is what a non-casual football fan would say. But with the fact they've got so many players from the same place, it makes them all the more closer, probably makes them all the more friends, therefore makes them all the more tougher to face. And also with the system they play of 5 at the back, with very good defenders, by the way. And, you know, for 89 minutes of that game, shout out to Diogo Jota, who's on the screen, for 88 or whatever minutes of that game, they had a very good goalkeeper in goal. So it was always going to be difficult to break down Wolves, even though we scored 4 against them last time when we played them at Anfield. That was with fans, and there was a few things that came into that. But today, we finally saw just a little bit of a breakthrough. And you could even argue Patricio should have done better for the goal that we got, Diogo Jota, the goal that he got, Diogo Jota. He could have done a bit better, come to his near post, and for a goalkeeper of his calibre, I thought he would have handled that well. So even though we got a moment of luck there, we done well with that moment of luck that we got. Does that make sense? What I mean by that is, when we got that moment of luck, we didn't just throw the game away. We stayed composed defensively. Kabak and Nat Phillips had a game of absolute dreams. It was insane how good they was. The attack done very, very well as always. Just all round, great, wonderful performance. Now I am going to do a live match reaction with the boys, with the lads in a bit on the channel, so go and check that out once you've watched this. That being said, I'm still going to do a player ratings. It might be influenced in the live match reaction when talking to a few of the lads, but this is instant match reaction, so let's get into it. In goal, Alisson. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to give Alisson a 5. I felt like even though he made a few really good shot-stopping saves, there was still a moment or two where I was very concerned with Alisson, and, you know, the crosses he didn't look too comfortable with. He was punching every ball away. I'll say a 5 for that reason. Even though he got a clean sheet, weren't one of his more confident performances, I will say. Left back Robbo, again another one who I didn't think had a great game, even though he improved in the second half, going forward defensively, made some very good last-ditch tackles. I think it's safe to say Robbo was the worst defender out of anyone else in that back four today, and I think I can say that pretty confidently. Just not being the same this season, but not being shit all the way through. We know what he's got in his locker. He's playing week in, week out. Many suggested start Shimikas, and maybe that's something to look at going forward with the fact now we've got international break, who knows. But I'll give Robbo I'll give him a 5.5, I'll say that. Right back Trent, one of his best games in a while. Really like Trent today. Going forward, belter, defensively, much better than what we've seen. Was it world class? No, but it was still better, and that's all I want to see from Trent. So I'm more than happy to give him an 8 for today's performance. I feel like if we're going to criticise him and we're going to call him out for things that he does wrong, we've got to praise him for games like that, because he did really, really well. By the way, against opposition, that is not so easy when he's coming up against a Neto and he's coming up against a Traore, who, yes, might have no end product, but still caused us issues going in behind and running at our defence, essentially. So fair play to Trent, give him an 8 there. Centre-backs, Kabak gets an 8.5. He's the man of the match, and Nat Phillips gets an 8. Both fantastic. And to anyone who doubted Kabak, doubt him now, because he's doing it week in, week out, and he's shutting Yo Candy arses down. He was never brought in to be the Virgil van Dijk replacement. He was never brought in to be the Joe Gomez replacement. He weren't brought in to replace Joe Matip. FSG replaced Kabak with Matip. It weren't Kabak who made that decision, so we can only expect what we see from Kabak on the pitch. That he is exceeding his potential right now in terms of what he's doing. Bear in mind, look at the partner who he's doing it with. These really look like all they've really done that's similar is they both played in the Bundesliga. But Nat Phillips and Kabak are really building a weird partnership that just, it's making me think, man. I'm not saying it's going to be the permanent partnership, and I'm not saying that at all. Gomez and Van Dijk go above them all day, even Matip when he's fit. But there's something about it that it kind of makes me happy, because today they were brilliant again. Midfield, Fabinho, another solid game. Wouldn't say he was good as he was against Leipzig, but still very solid, so I'll give him a 7. Thiago, poor first 10 minutes, gave the ball away a lot in the opening 10 minutes, really didn't like that, but then grew into the game and looked well better. Got a yellow card, was a bit aggressive. A few people will have a question on what they think of his aggression nowadays, and, you know, it's going to cost us in the future. It might, but I do like that little bit of aggression, but maybe he needs to, lower it down just a smidge. I'll give Thiago a 7, and then Gini, I'm going to give a 6. Thought he was not too involved, but in moments was actually really, really good. Put a great through ball into Salah or Mane early on in the game. In fact, yeah, it was Mane, which Mane then ran round the goalkeeper and shot a shot, but he just kind of lost his feet a little bit. But yeah, I'll say that. 6.5 for Gini, why not? If he got an assist, it would have been a 7, so I'll say 6.5. Front three, Mane. Now, I thought he was the best of the front three, and I don't have a Mane biased. I don't have I hope you know that by now, even though Sadio Mane, best player in the world, that's who I am. I don't have a Mane biased. I do understand he's been incredibly out of form this season. And even though I feel like that performance today was much better than any other performance he's had recently, I can't say that was nailed on for him to prove himself, that he's now back or anything of the sort. And even still, when I say I thought he was the best attacker out of the three today, because I did think Mane probably outperformed the other two, I understand people will dispute that with Jota, and that is absolutely fine, because it weren't like there was levels ahead. I just thought Mane, he was the most involved. End product wise, no, but in terms of involvement, he was the best for me, so I'll give Mane a 7. Thought he was better, but still not perfect. Jota, he'll also get a 7. Got the goal. And also pressed very well. That's what I also like to see. We haven't had a player like Jota and Thiago press the way they do for a while, so it's good to see these new players kind of doing it. And it's proven that myth of, you know, these players... Oh, no, it's not proven that myth, but it proves the statement of when people say, in this system, it can run you down, because now we're seeing these new players showing that they can press to a very good level. And then Salah, I thought he was poor today. I'll give Salah a 5.5. I just didn't think he got involved in the game enough, and people will say I have a Salah agenda, but as Callum said, the only agenda I have towards Salah is he's one of the best players in the world, and if you don't like that, that's your problem. Other than that, mate, I haven't got any Salah agenda, but today I didn't think he was that good. Manager, I'll give him an 8. He done sound, the manager. The substitutions I didn't hate. Oxlade looked alright when he came on. Milner and Keita did bits, sound, buzzing overall. Obviously, besides the Rui Patricio thing, just happy to get the 3 points. But people, if you enjoyed this video, smash the like, subscribe, and down below leave your thoughts of your man of the match and all of that good stuff. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like I said, and what am I saying? And I'll see you later. Peace out, people.